Hi students, welcome back. In our last video, we have discussed about difference between saturated solutions and unsaturated solutions and the difference between suspension solutions and colloidal solutions. And we have seen what is meant by Tyndall effect by using few examples and pictures. And we have learnt about dispersed phase and dispersed medium. And in this video, we are going to learn about physical change and chemical change. What is meant by physical change? What is meant by chemical change? And how we can identify whether it is physical change or chemical change. This is Arjun and welcome to my YouTube channel. So, physical change. What is meant by physical change? Those changes in which only physical properties of the substances change but no new substance is formed. So no new substances are formed during any change is known as physical change. You see few examples: melting of ice from water. What is the chemical formula of ice? Of course, it is H2O and it will become water. What is the chemical formula of water? It is H2O. H2O, of course, it is becoming H2O. Here, no new substances are formed. Next, breaking of glass. You take one glass beaker, try to throw it down. You can find some pieces of glass. This is of course glass, these are also glass pieces and no new substances are formed. When glass is broken, we cannot get any gold from that. So that is physical change. And preparing a solution. If you want to prepare any solution, sugar plus water, if you add, you are getting just sugar water. Salt plus water, if you are mixing, you will get salt water. In that also no new substances are formed. So by this what we can conclude? Whenever there is change, when the change is happening, there will be no new substances, and changes which are reversible are also known as physical change. Changes which are reversible. You see, we can convert ice to water and water to ice. That is reversible. And here you can ask me, if you can break beaker is becoming glass, again can we convert that pieces to beaker? Yes, of course. Take these pieces of glass, try to melt it, of course not in our house, in industries. If you melt it, automatically you will get gas liquid, and that glass liquid again can be converted into beaker. And if you mix salt and water, can we separate salt and water? Can it become? Yes, by doing evaporation technique, we can remove salt and water, again we can get pure water, again we can extract salt from it. These all changes which are reversible known as physical change. At the same time, when change is taking place, if no new substances are formed, that is known as physical change. Now, moving to another type of change, that is chemical change. Whenever chemical change is taking place, always new substances are formed. That is known as chemical change, and also chemical changes are irreversible. We cannot reverse that change. Example, rusting of iron. When iron Fe is exposed to sunlight and exposed to air, I mean oxygen or hydrogen, and exposed to humidity, in the sense water, automatically one layer is formed on that iron. That layer is known as rust. Once there is rust, again it is not possible for us to remove the rust again. Another example, burning a piece of paper. If you burn any paper, if you collect that ash, again we cannot make new paper from that ash. That is known as chemical change. These are simple definitions and explanation about physical and chemical changes. Let us see difference between physical and chemical changes. Number 1. In physical change, only physical properties like states will change, shape of a body will change, size of a substance body will change. Apart from state, shape, size, nothing will change. But while coming to chemical change, in that total chemical properties of substance will change. For example, when hydrogen is mixed to oxygen, we'll get H2O water molecule. Hydrogen is nothing but it is gas. Oxygen is also gas. When it is mixed together, we'll get liquid. So total new chemical property, and it brings about change in the chemical property. It is changed to liquid. Like that, there will be change. And second point, there is no change in chemical composition of a substance. If you take ice cube and if you try to heat it, ice cube will become water. What is the chemical formula of ice cube? It is H2O. It will become same H2O. There is no change in chemical composition. Again, if you heat water, water will become steam. What is chemical formula of steam? Of course, it is H2O only. There is no change in its chemical composition of a substance. And here, there is always change in chemical composition of a substance. For example, let us take iron and add it to HCl hydrochloric acid. Iron is metal, HCl is acid. Metal will be in solid state, acid will be in liquid state, and we will get new compound, that is FeCl, that is iron chloride, FeCl2, and hydrogen gas is evolved. If you balance, it becomes 2HCl, FeCl2, it is H2. And you see, this is solid, this is liquid, FeCl2 is salt, it is a new substance, and hydrogen is gas. Like that, new substances are formed and there will be change in its chemical composition. While coming to third point, no new substance is formed. Here, physical change, no new substance is formed, but while coming to chemical change, always new substance is formed. You see here iron, here it is HCl acid, it is salt, FeCl2, iron chloride is a salt, and hydrogen gas, this is also a new substance, which again cannot be retreated back. By combining FeCl2 and H2, we cannot get iron and hydrochloric acid. And last, physical changes are temporary and changes which are reversible. We can convert ice to water, water to steam. Again, if you cool, we can convert steam to water, water to ice. Like that, it can be changed. But here, chemical change is nothing but it is permanent and it is irreversible. We cannot reverse it back. Those are physical changes and chemical changes. And again, if you see here, 10th class. In 10th class, chapter 1, that is chemical equations and reactions. In that, you will get again this concept. In that, we will get a new concept, that is observations for chemical changes. Let us try to understand those observations, which will be so helpful for you to judge whether it is physical change or chemical change. So let us see observations of chemical change, there are few observations. Number one, there will be change in its chemical composition. We can say it is chemical change. Next, always new substance is formed during chemical change. Next, there will be rise or increase in temperature. Definitely there will be increase in its temperature. And last one, evolution of gas. Sometimes gas also will be evolved. These are observations for chemical change. Whenever all these four or any of these four, more than two, if it is happening, simply we can say it is chemical change. Now we'll see few example questions. First one, classify the following as chemical or physical changes. There are few examples in that we need to say which one is physical change and which one is chemical change. Number one, cutting off trees. You see, cutting off tree, if there is a very big tree and if you are cutting it, again we cannot make that big, small pieces into big tree, right? So it is not possible to reverse the tree. So it is chemical change. Melting of butter in pan. If you take pan and if you place small piece of butter, because of heat energy, that solid will become liquid. Again, if you cool it, that liquid will become solid. It is reversible. So we can call it as physical change. Rusting of almirah. If you take any iron almirah and if it is rusting, I told you, whenever iron is exposed to oxygen, water, etc., that forms a layer called rust, which cannot be taken back. So rusting of almirah is chemical change. Boiling of water to form steam. I told you already, if you take ice cube, if you heat it will become water, if you heat it will become steam. Again, if you cool, steam will become water and water will become ice cube, which can be reversed. So boiling of water to form steam is physical change. Next, passing of electric current through water and water beaker down into hydrogen and oxygen gases. This is called electrolysis. Electrolysis of water. If you take beaker and if you add some water to it and keep two terminals, try to pass electricity through it, automatically you can observe from one terminal gas will be appeared, another terminals also that bubble will be appeared. If you place test tubes, automatically you can observe in one test tube huge amount of gas can be collected, in another test tube less amount of gas can be collected. That high amount of gas is hydrogen and less amount of gas is oxygen, because chemical formula of water is H2O, and we have learned how H2O is formed by 2:1 ratio of hydrogen and oxygen. How many oxygen atoms and hydrogen atoms? One oxygen atom and two hydrogen atoms, and the hydrogen content will be high. So the huge amount of gas which is collected here is hydrogen, and less amount of gas which is collected in this test tube is oxygen. And if you do it again, can we convert oxygen and hydrogen to water? Means no. So that is chemical change. Again, if you mix hydrogen and oxygen gas together, can we get H2O? We cannot make it. That's it. Next, dissolving common salt in water. If you dissolve common salt, I told you we can separate salt and water by evaporation technique. So this is physical change. Next, making a fruit salad with raw fruit. Here, you are making raw fruit salad. So making fruit salad with raw fruits. You see, we are taking raw fruit. For example, we take raw mango. And if you do juice, mango will become mango juice only. We cannot get any orange juice, right? So like that, no new substances are formed. We can consider this one as physical change. And burning of paper and wood. If you burn any paper, that paper will become ash and wood will become some charcoal or ash, and again by converting it we cannot get wood, and by converting this one we cannot get paper, hence it is chemical change. Like that, we need to identify physical changes and chemical changes. Let us take another example. Which of the following are chemical changes? First one, growth of plant. You see, growth of plant is of course chemical change, because that small plant after some years or some months that will become very big tree. Again, that tree cannot become small plant. No reversible, so it is chemical change. Rusting of iron. Yes, rusting of iron is chemical change. Mixing of iron fillings in sand. Let us take one plate and let us mix iron fillings and let us take sand particles. Can we separate iron fillings and sand particles? Yes, of course, by using magnet. Take magnet, try to roll it, total iron particles will be sticked to magnet and that sand particles will be left. So easily we can separate it, and this is physical change. Cooking of food. First, if you take rice and add water to it, and if you keep it on stove, after 30 minutes, 20 minutes, it will become boiled rice, isn't it? First, if you take this one, what is the state of this one? Of course, it is solid and it will be hard. After some time, it will become so brittle and smooth rice we will get. And again, will it become this one? Hard rice? No, it will not become. So it is irreversible. Cooking of food is chemical change. Digestion of food. We eat food today and tomorrow there will be excretion, right? So in our stomach, that food will be digested, and again that digested food will not become the original food what we ate. So it is chemical change. Freezing of water. If you freeze water, that water will become ice cube. And again, can we convert ice to water? Means yes, we can convert it. It is irreversible, so it is physical change. And at last, burning of candle. First, candle will be this much big, and if you leave it for 30 minutes, 40 minutes or 1 hour, you can observe that wax will come down and automatically that big candle will become small candle, and again that small candle cannot become big candle, isn't it? So it is chemical change. Like that, we need to differentiate between physical changes and chemical changes. So guys, if this video is informative and if you have learned something from this video, from this lecture, please like it, share it to your friends, subscribe and comment it, and we'll meet in our next video. And in our next video, we are going to learn about separation of mixtures. We'll take one substance, for example X, and we'll add it to Y, it will become XY. Again, can we separate X and Y? Yes, we can separate it. We have different separation techniques. We'll see those separation techniques in our next video. Until then, bye. Have a nice day.